A rapturous riot of flavour, succulent filling, creamy sauce. All wrapped up in the flakiest of flaky pastries in one or both hands.
Hey gang, how are we doing? How are we doing this evening? Hey twin, thank you for claiming your daily sausage roll. Please enjoy it with both hands. Just check my mic, seems to be working. Yay, it's Friday. It's Friday. Yay. We're back in City Skylines. We're going to do some stuff. Let's have a little look around at our city. Work was a thing. It's over. It was a thing. It was an entire week. Minus Monday for a bank holiday. But, ugh. I hope you are well, my dear. Hope your week has gone well. We appear to have a little bit of traffic here, which is fun. Just unpause the game and see what these guys are doing. Are they just struggling with lane selection? Make sure that everybody goes in the right lane. Took a cheeky day after and went to high tea with the missus. Lovely. We love to see that. That sounds yum. Random. That sounds yum. What did you have at your high tea? Was it a scone kind of event? Scone? Was it a bit of cake? Sounds like cheeky production. Ooh. We need some more grain, do we? I'm inspired by Funko 40s. I can barely remember what you'll try. Sounds intriguing. Should we stick another little farm in here? Maybe up here, so we can get the most of our... Oop, that's kind of annoying. Let's just use a little bit of anarchy because I put it too far away. Actually gonna do this though. Inspired by Van Gogh is interesting. Van Gogh, somebody once told me you're supposed to say it. Yeah, it's just going upwards. Somebody's car burning down. Nope, it's just the sun reflecting off of Venus. Yuzu white chocolate tart, raspberry mini Swiss roll, praline in the shape of a sunflower. That sounds delish, and I'm jealous. But what a lovely way to spend your lovely day off that you had. That's yummy. Why are you all switching lanes? Where are you trying to go? Ew, you're trying to go left. Why are you trying to go left, you horrible people? I'm going to come in here. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of these crossings. These people can cross at either end of this road. They don't need to be crossing in the middle. That does sound delicious though. They're upset about the road noise, so maybe I can put some sound barriers on here. Nope, because it's a bridge. That's as many sound barriers as you get in. Surprised they're moaning about sound, and then these people have been here forever. There's a fire engine. True crab wrap, lobster roll, tomato tart thingy. I'm pretty sure that's the technical term. Sounds delicious. It's making me really hungry. Still got issues with post, which is surprising. Maybe we need a post box down here, looking at that. Stick it on this little corner here. Now we should probably at some point get all this built up inside of here, because I feel like all these houses that you would have here would be like really nice. I'm just looking at that though, where we've got that bad water outflow and there's one there. Poop pipe. I think we've probably got better options now. Because we could even buy these extra tiles that are here and actually hook up a proper solution in our industrial area perhaps for our water. Water treatment plant, yeah. So, water treatment plant. which doesn't actually cost that much. So we could... Would we put it in there? Just trying to think of whether we would put our water treatment plant in this area. I feel like we probably should, but it continues. The list continues. Mushroom and ginger, steamed dumpling, mushroom pie, and a chicken thing. You are making me hungry. It's like quite the list, though. That is certainly a thing. What does this ground look like? We should do that first. Ooh, it's a bit slopey. It's like when we did this. I'm gonna buy that one. We're gonna get that one so we can actually hook up properly. We're gonna get that one so we can hook up properly there. That one's a bit too far away. But if we get those tiles, then we're actually hooked up and we don't have to do any naughtiness with any pipes. And then the classic scones for puddings. Yummy. Right, so we have this hill. My plan was to put this on kind of like on the edge of the water. But maybe we could just put it in here perhaps. It could go on the edge of the water here then. Don't exactly consider yourself a foodie, but that was an experience. It sounds delicious. Game, why am I not allowed to do that? That's ridiculous. I'm going to try and do this in a proper way. A kind of proper city skylines way that it's expecting me to do. There we go, we're going to flatten this out. There we go. So we did that without cheating. So you can't be angry with me. I don't really like the angle of that though. It might just be because of these yeah, why can't I just do it there? Stupid game. I think it's just because of the game. Okay. Thank you. Just because of the tile outline that I'm a bit confused by it, but kind of just looking at that highway on the other side going, that's kind of the angle I would have wanted. But yeah, that does sound delicious. It smells like a lovely way to spend a day. Just exploring your flavours and deliciousness. So my idea was that we would put this kind of around here, with the idea being that it could output water you could take in water from the river if it needed to and stuff. But then obviously we could have these buildings are in and around it. Imagine putting that bridge over and then allowing people to live in that 1x4 piece. Okay. Gotcha. Hey, alien zombie. Hope you're doing well. Ooh, we've got issues with people dying again. Hope you're well. Have we got traffic issues? We have got traffic issues. I'm wondering whether people aren't using this anymore. Yeah, 0 people, and they're all presumably standing here, which is then making all the taxis. Taxi stop is an optional thing, but I can't delete it, can I not? The weekend is here. It is. This is what we love. Ooh, taxi stop. Deactivate. And delete it. Yeah, it completely deletes it. Amazing. What's the plan for today's stream? Plan's kind of just to keep building the city and get the population up, get it growing but still working. I'm looking at this area and wondering whether we need to fill this in a little bit. Because I think, as I was just saying before, I think these houses that you could put on the edge of here would be very valuable. I think we've got some theatre action mansion and stuff that we could put in. Maybe we could work towards getting the sculptor mansion in. Put some nice residential around here perhaps, but obviously my plan at the minute is to get rid of these pool pipes and out of here, out of there, so that this bay is much nicer place to live. And then we've just put in the water treatment plant, which we need to hook up, make sure it's all the way hooked up down the city. And then we can get our poop being sorted like that, I think that is the plan for the moment. So we got this area over here which isn't hooked up yet. So we're going to run a pipe along the highway there. Let's do it over here perhaps. Like this. Next to the highway. Cut across there, but then up here. So that's all hooked up. And that's going to come out, so we can't use that. So if we come through here, to there, and then we're going to cut across the water. Like so. So that's hooked up. That's going to come out. That's already hooked up. So we can off. That's the button. Don't generally turn anything off. Turn that one off. And that will at least let us know if we are not connected anywhere before we delete something. And then it is just up here that we've got one there. This area is obviously not connected. And then is there one up in here somewhere? No, because this has always just been connected to the city. But we do have these ones here. So we turn that off. I think there's another one there. And presumably we are doing well still. Yep. But yeah, so we have this now that is doing all of our water treatment for us. Got 48 of 50 thingy bobbers out, so I'm tempted to put in that just so we always have enough. And because we're doing well, this can come out. And we can demolish our poo pipes, the number 2 pipe. So we have a funny little roundabout thing here, which I don't actually need anymore. We can put in a proper roundabout, but we have an exit here. Number 2 pipe, I think must have been you who told me last stream perhaps that you called it the number 2 pipe. So I think I'm going to start calling it the number 2 pipe, maybe more than the poop pipe. But still got the traffic here. I would imagine all the taxis are now moved over here potentially. Nope, maybe not. There's people all milling around. Maybe they're just upset now that there's no taxi rank. Let us look at our bus lines, see if anything are oversubscribed. No, they're not. That one's dropped to 52, so maybe it doesn't need that many buses on it anymore. Car park is working well. Got people in the little overflowy bit as well now. Let us look at our usage. 31,000 people a month. And then obviously people on the trains. Not that there's that much train really, because it's just like perhaps from here into the city. And people from out of town. Whether or not we could put in another train station somewhere. I think we've got another one there. Whether there should be one here. Perhaps. But yeah, what I was saying that we've got these junctions off of here. I'm probably going to copy this and put that there instead. I think it's really good, yeah. This just needs to clear up because of fixing that bit of traffic that's coming in here. Because that is the issue in the fact that we've got lots of vehicle-y based buildings. What's the word? Lots of high demand buildings. So this crematorium sending stuff out, the ambulances going out, the buses and taxis and everything. Maybe this needs a little bit more of a boost. Obviously they're all stopping here for people crossing the road to get to the train station. So whether or not we could sneak in a little bridge or something. If I'd thought ahead, I would have left a little gap in the front of this. But we could potentially put a little bridge here. There's a bridge there, I suppose. Is that what we do? Is that what we do, guys? We put a crossing here. And then we get rid of this crossing and the traffic lights. And then anybody who wants to get from the bus station to the train station will go over that bridge. That's what we do. High density buildings are the big ones. So hopefully people might do that. Yeah. Speed it up and let's watch them walk over. That's exactly what we want to see, folks. What a simple solution that was. Love it when that happens. It might be a little bit far for these folks, and maybe it is a good idea to put another little bridge in. So let's give them options, shall we? Did you just jump? Don't want to go too far down. It's obviously way too high at the minute, but we will fix that. Once I have finished popping this in. What's that joining up to if I was to put a crossing there? A big giant bridge. Just give them some options. Still a few folks trying to cross over. I think that has definitely helped that issue. Hopefully this will then start to clear up. How much money have we got? 700, so we should be able to buy those ones. And then the next bit is getting this moved out of the way a tad. And probably need to rethink this. Make the Industry be the smaller road coming off the main road of the roundabout rather than the opposite way around. Just try and grab the points. Very small. So let us upset everybody. We'll pause it a second while we redo this. A dirt road, exactly. Don't quite know why I built it with using a main road. Oh, not a main road, but a 2-lane big normal road. But I clearly did. Let's just have a quick nosy under here just to see what's going on. These messy pipes. Up, and then we will put in under the ground with the road. Put in a road like that. Then be able to pipe in a big roundabout, and then we will grab our highway, 2 lanes, I just want you to do right angles like that. I'll delete the other one. So that is a proper roundabout. We're going to downgrade that to be this dirt road, which is what it should be. Realistically, we're just going to move that like that. Then we've got a little bit of squiffiness here with these roads. So we're just going to upgrade that one. Let's give these folks, kind of almost want 4 lanes, but no, that's entirely wrong, isn't it? It's like this, that's what we need to do. There we go. And then they can have a turning lane, but really it's almost like they need 4 lanes. Just to try and give them some dedicatedness. We will see. But then we have kind of these exits, these entrances into this area. I don't know why people are exiting already. Let us have a look at the topography, because we're going to try and respect it a certain amount. So we've got a lump here, and then it picks up into this area which is all lumpy bumpy. So it gets much higher here, and then it's a massive lump. So if we were respecting it, we would sweep around there and then come back, perhaps have houses on the top. Sneak another little bunch of houses in here. And then another group of stuff down on this side. Interesting. interesting. There's a bit of a valley there, which is might be fun to put the road through. Don't need it like that. So a valley like this and the road coming through like that. This is entirely the wrong road, isn't it? Let's do it in this one, perhaps. What am I like? So yes, there's a road going through like that. And then we come down here. And then we got into this little lump. And really, we're going to go straight through this wooded area. So let us try and respect this a tad, because it's obviously where the timber industry is. So we'll sweep around the edge of it. And then come into here. It is so much easier to flatten it, but I don't like doing that. My personal feeling with flattening everything is you kind of end up with a city that just looks the same as everybody else's, which is nothing bad, but no offense to people who do that, because everybody can play the game in their own way. That is perfectly fine. Sneak along the side of the motorway, the highway, and then we come back round at the bottom of this hill, kind of keeping an eye on where we could put these on the edge. Oh, this is kind of like the extreme of that. But nobody else has got a road that looks like that. Come on. And then in order to try and get some houses on this hill, do we put a little cul-de-sac in there like that? There. Try and look to see where this comes through. There's like another thing that could come up there, perhaps. And this is very steep there. Trying to see if we can actually get houses along this bluff. Exactly. If you want everything flat, go play the coral reaches. Coral reaches. So there's that flat bit up there. How do we get up there? This is speaking to me. This little bit. So yeah, it's looking wibbly wobbly. It's looking tricky. Certainly there's a bunch of stuff that we could do at the bottom of this hill. So that might just be a crossroads for the moment. Trying to sweep around the bottom of this hill so that we leave enough space that we can build against it, kind of following the terrain, and then into there. And then we just need to figure out how to connect that up. But yeah, it's kind of like in the middle of here we would have more of our cul-de-saciness up on that bit. This is probably going to be almost be empty, this chunk. That's all wibbly wobbly, so that's all going to be empty. But then have some posh houses on this bit up to that wibbly bit. Yeah, I think that is the bones of it. I think that's the skeleton. This junction here obviously needs a little bit of rejiggery. Let's just do it straight so I can cut it off. I'll cough. And then we will do a little proper little curve to join those up. Right, so what I might do is I might come in here and I'm going to put in some rubbishy pointless road paths just round the edges of these hills. And the terrain lines, just to let me know where I can build my little cul-de-sacs up to. A bit easier without looking at the terrain lines. Kind of almost nothing on this side of the road. This kind of goes up to about there. This comes out about here. What about this one? This isn't very big. It's just a little nook. A little leaf shape perhaps. But the idea being that I know now that I can only build my roads up to that. Let's do the top of the hill. Whether any of these paths actually stay in is up for debate. Put on a Let us rejig this one a sec. Should probably zoom in so we can actually see what's going on. There we go, and then this main road. Sweep up the hill like that. And then we're going to connect this in so that it doesn't create a crossroad or anything. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. It's just a case of getting it all hooked up. Thought I'd left it on, but obviously I didn't, 'cause I turned it off. Actually, what we're going to do is this road is the road from the roundabout, so we're going to sweep it like that, and we're going to make this the primary route through like that, and then this will connect into that. I don't like that being a four crossroads as it is. 4 roads hitting each other. So what we're gonna do. Kind of want to turn this into a bridge over this one and then have some other road joining them up. Because obviously they're connected there. But it's, yeah. Anybody who's living on this, for instance, doesn't necessarily need to come in here. They could come in on either of those, perhaps. So this doesn't actually need to be connected, not together, perhaps. What height does this give us? It's clearly not that much higher. No. In fact, it goes downhill, if anything. Let us grab our elevated, turn that elevated, grab that height. So that gives us a little bit of a, obviously it's not very tall. If we were to pull that up a tad, I want to flatten this out so there's not a bridge going uphill. Move it is so crazy. It's funny. And then we will stop that being like that. And then we will just do that to get some grid lines. And then the road is just gonna drop. Maybe an opportunity to use our smart connection roofer. It's a bit of a dip. Mess around with the heights a tad. That's a slope tool. I always click on it and it doesn't actually click on. But I put that down to my poor clicking skills than anything. We're doing this with the game being paused because I messed with that. Do I need to fix it? I do. I thought I was going to. Need to just connect this back up again. There we go, sorted. That's why it was paused. So that is the basics. We need to get this moved over. Maybe we'll do it like this, where we'll just do a little stub. A little stubby bit. Then we can stop that from being elevated. Shorten that bridge span a touch. Now, I'm glad you're turning around. Because what I don't want is you coming in here to cut through. Give this the extra lanes it's going to need. Already got one. We're going to put in some little tiny roundabouts where we know we're going to want them. Maybe just there. One there. Then we are gonna put in our cul-de-sac roads. As with the other section, making sure that we don't end up with giant plots that are too close to the road or anything. So we've got a section here where we could put big buildings in, but we just want them to be a little bit smaller. But I am tempted to try and make these ones a bit bigger. We will just continue doing this until we have filled up all these gaps with houses, or housing plots at the very least. Put the crossroads in even though I don't really like them. Let's do this the other way around. Can you get it how I want it? There's a bit of a lump here, but I'm going to actually disregard that little particular lump. Extend that road a little bit. And another little lump here, which we're just going to build up into. That's just one road up, but then we can put in some little this going all the way to the end, like so. Itchy. Pop a bunch of these in. I'm going to delete some of this now that we know where the edges kind of are. We need to make sure we actually get the houses on the ends of the bulbs. highway here. Because in real life that would be kind of like a bit of a B road, A road type thing situation. B road potentially. Which in this game probably means that we're no longer connected to the outside world. Yo, Watsonberry, how are you doing? Stream's going well, thank you. Hope you're well. So that is actually the basics of this sorted. Do I need to put the electricity in as well? Yeah, so that is kind of the basics. Let's get rid of this path. Because I can revisit that. So when we got our houses in. As ever, it's just little houses, except that one's got as big. Because obviously that's how that is zoned, it's on that road. So put that in back in like that. But I'm thinking maybe those can go to 4 perhaps. Actually, should we put the waterfront houses in and see how we feel? Switch back to these ones. Popping in the little 2 by 2 deep houses. Thought the game had paused a second. These ones are questionable. Just because they're kind of building into the hill, so we may have to fix some of that terrain. But we definitely will have to fix some of that terrain. I just feel it might look a little bit odd if there weren't any on that though. This bulb might be a bit too close to the highway. Here with our little buildings. think we're necessarily going to get anything on the little rise here. So we'll put some on the hill. Up there. And then some in there. I think this probably can. Looks flat enough. We need a little bit of terrain tweakage. Lots of little plots. We are kind of disrespecting a little bit of terrain, but we will pretty it up. We'll let the terrain inform us of our design. And then we are just making it look a little bit nicer. You have gone in as one giant one, which we don't like. Okay, so you've done that now. Get in there. Obviously this is only the first pass with plots. Why did I do that? I did it too. Right, and then what we're gonna do is put in some larger 4 ones. And perhaps peter down back to a 2. Yeah, it's not particularly dense. But I feel like it just fills that up a little bit enough. And we'll put trees in all these gaps and everything. fills it up just enough that it makes sense with what the terrain is. I'm going to pop this in somewhere else that makes sense. You like it? I'm glad you like it. Did I just pop over people's houses? I did with Anarchy. Sorry, folks. To make sure I turn Anarchy off occasionally. So we've got these waterfront houses because they are on the waterfront-ish. Very interested to see what we get with the bridges and ports DLC with these key walls that they've got a Steam achievement for. See if they are a separate thing. Am I changing the speed? I am. That's what I was doing. I want to change the speed. So that's our first pass, as we know. So the next thing to do is go in and just chop where this zoning extends. So we can try and get some extra plots in. Don't think we're necessarily going to get any in there, but that gets us more. That got us some more too. It's kind of a pointless here, but we'll do this so that we get a path running behind these houses. Again, same here. Just they have an alternate way to walk. I'm not really touching you, I don't know why you're complaining. Getting the occasional extra little zone. Every little helps. It's as close to the houses there. Should get a few more on that, or at least one more. Good. Up here. My throat is very dry tonight. It's very annoying. Close to those houses would make sense. Should that be a highway, do we think? Or should there be houses on this bit? That. Like these should actually be the larger waterfront ones. Let's go to there, because we should probably put a cul-de-sac in going up to that. Actually, let's just do this bit first. Didn't manage to get an extra thing. Thought we might get the extra little plot in there. Did I do the end of here? I did. Not quite though, that's not sorted. Maybe I didn't do over here. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, didn't do it over here because there's a bunch of stuff that's not been done. This is very empty. Maybe we should put a road into here. Which will upset this person's house, but I'm very sorry. Sorry, folks. All roads in here to cut off these paths in here, I mean. Once we've done all of this, I'm going to have to get another bus route put in into these areas we've built over the past couple of streams. Get people into town, get them into work. Just go all the way to the end. Don't know why some people live in a roundabout, but apparently they can. So that's a little bit more filled in. And then the next bit is probably to put the trees. I'm wondering whether I want to buy this bit and try and get this bit done, or whether I might do something different over there. Hi, my name is Ruin. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Ooh, elementary is struggling, but I imagine that is probably because we don't have enough capacity in these areas anymore. You've got enough. They're full up now, which is kind of annoying. Eastgate Old Town. 1500, 1700, another 1500. So 1000, 4700. Tiddywinks. Yep. Need another one somehow. We will probably pop in a modernish one here somewhere. One of these urban ones. Squeeze it in there. And then set it to be this district. And it needs to have enough space, so do that. We may even need to. Just coming off a long Cities 2 game. Love to see it. What have you been building? What kind of city have you been building? And a little bit of traffic here. It's obviously caused by this traffic light. Do we need this traffic light? There isn't much stuff coming from either end. So let's get rid of it. Let people fend for themselves a little bit. It's made us a bit better with that. This district is going to need to be created for a start. Just so that we can start putting schools and stuff in, which I probably not accounted for, but oh well. And you go across that tab a little bit. And then we're going to come back up here. Let's just do that. Do I want to draw around the outline? Yeah, let's just draw around the outline. thinking I might do the bus line before I detail and sort out this area. Simply so that we make sure we've got it done and that people can be getting used to it and get going while we do the tidying up of this area. So that gives us Hillside Crest, which I think is the right name. Let's have a quick shifty at the numbers. 341. So we don't need a massive capacity at the minute. Let us pop in. Don't think it's necessarily going to get much bigger, so we can get away with one of these. Do we shove that in this central location here, or do we find somewhere else to put it? Like that area could be kind of good. Apologise to these people's houses we're just destroying. But they do at least have a school. Let's get the basics put in. So we're going to put some post boxes. First time playing it for real since the release. Still crashed on me once. There are annoying bugs, as you know. Nice little town of 105k. The map with Field Islands, love it. The castle ruin on that map, so you built it as an old town, amazing. We love old towns. Extend the agricultural sector which you did abandon since you didn't realise that poultry farms didn't do fertile. Yeah, they don't. I always get confused by that. You also put it up on me at 100k pop. Amazing. That sounds awesome. That sounds like you are doing good progress. 105k is quite a big city. Here's little old me with my 59,000 people. Right, and so buses is the next one. So we get some buses put in. But as I was saying, we have this entire area we built kind of the last couple of streams that doesn't have any buses in it. So what I'm wondering is if we could put in a bus route that goes through here and then goes back to the bus station, and then one that goes the opposite way. And kind of jumps back across through there, perhaps. So what I'm imagining is we would come out of the bus stop there, and we will put a bus stop here. I'm going to put another one opposite, and then we'll come through here, stick another one opposite, move them around in a minute to make them in the best position, and then we will come through this area and then come through here. If I put trees across there, I did. There's a tree in the middle of the road, that confused me. Through here. I'll be at 100k real soon. That will be fun. I don't have to see how my computer copes with it. There, and then it will come across through here. Will it? No, it won't. Ooh. That is one thing I was thinking about, whether it needs to come up this way. And we will put in a thingy bobber. Do we need to have it here? Can't put it on this road anyway. So thinking is we need to put a road across this way, because then I want the bus to come back round through here. You went from 75k to 105k in this marathon session. Also got quite a bit of public transport done. About 51 passengers use it. Amazing. And only 500, 700 taxis. Perfect. That's what we like. I've got 32,000 as this little window tells me at the minute. So that is some pretty good numbers. Hopefully once we've done this, it's going to go up. Get all these folks getting on the buses. So that goes like that. It doesn't have any bus service. Maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe we can get away with not having any. But then this will turn round into here. Put a stop there. Hopefully that will get some people that need to go to the uni. And then we'll put another one up there, come down through here and come to about there. And it'll cut through that, so we can put another one about there, come across this into this area. Yeah, we could possibly need another. Do we have it turn left there and go up that way, or do we have it come straight through? Because these people aren't then going to get surfaced by it. Maybe it's okay. Maybe I just put a path up the hill. I think that's what we can do. We will pop the bus stop about here. And then another one there. I might move that one. This will come through there eventually, but we won't do that for now because I'm thinking we might need another roundabout. Maybe we could just do that. Let's put that there, and we'll put in another roundabout here or something for this end of the town. I'm a bit concerned that these folks on this road don't have anything bus stuff. Maybe they'll be okay. Let's grab these two tiles, or maybe we can just get away with just this one for the minute. Put a roundabout in here. Pause. On the bus, you notice naming one of the bus terminals doesn't transfer to how it's when renaming one of the bus terminals doesn't transfer to how it is listed when you look at the route. Oh, that's stupid. You have to rename it yourself. Same for trams. That's annoying. Is annoying. I have to say I don't think I've really had bugs per se, unless I've just not noticed them. It's always crashes I struggle with once the city gets too big. Which reminds me, we're going to save in a second once I've built this roundabout. I don't always trust autosave. There we go. And then we're going to grab this and we're going to cut that off a second because it's a bit further into the water than towards the water than I would like. And we grab our main road type. Probably unpause. And then this road is going to sweep around this bit, following the water. There we go. So now our buses can come round here and then scoot back into the city and cross the bridgey bits and then back into here and then go back that way. You tell the map is 178k, yeah. So that was my last stream city, which I was happily building, and then it got a massive traffic jam in it, and it crashed the game, and I lost loads of work, and I kind of rage quit. And then I did my one tile city challenge, which was, you can't really see it behind my head, but I did this little one tile starting grid city, and then we built the little circle city in the water, and then these are just a couple of faffy things. But yeah, got 120 in that one, which I was building on, I think, a different series. But yeah, my computer tends to just explode. So there's my Meridian one, which obviously hasn't loaded in recently, but 183k. But that wasn't on stream, that was just off stream. But you can see the kind of sizes that my computer gets to, and then just goes, no thank you. I'm also frustrated that I have to hack zoning squares with footpaths to have buildings on both sides of a 6 square. Yeah, I don't like the... exactly. 2 rows of 3 deep. Yeah, I think it's the game and not the PC laptop. Yeah, my computer can obviously run other games, and streaming at the same time is obviously going to be difficult in terms of graphics and stuff. But when it crashes, it's obviously something about the game is going, nope. I think it's sometimes around the autosave, when it feels like the autosave should be saving, and it's just like it can't compute everything in one go. Right, so I think there was a bit down here that I wanted to do. I'm going to quickly just pop in a little connecty road for the moment, so that the buses can get down that way. I'm wondering, I was going to say we could come down Laurel Street, then into that, and then spin back round and go into there, but I'm not sure if that's even worth it, because that then means we miss this area. Yeah, I think it's autosave that crashes it sometimes. I've had a few move it errors and stuff. I pressed back in move it too many times the other day and it crashed move it, which crashed the game. Alright, buses. So we want a new bus route. I'm going to grab these 2 little slots here. We're going to come into this one first, and then into that one, and then into that one, into that one, and then we're going to come out of that road and come up. Oh, I didn't put a stop in here in the end. Surprising. So let's go that way. Or shall we put in a waypoint thing? Yes. And then we'll go that way. And then do that one. And into there. Into there. Into there. I do I'll have a look in a minute. I also give them kind of proper bus route type numbers and stuff. Let's have a look. We came into there, isn't it? So that's that bus route. I'll just do the opposite one first. So we come the opposite way and come into here. We'll just do the reverse route. Did that. I'm wondering whether we could put one bus stop the opposite there, but we will see. Put a little waypoint in here, just so it goes that way. That was a bus stop, wasn't it? Yeah. Thank you. That one and that one. And oh, I should probably put some stops on there. Thinking about it. And oh, don't do that. That one. So we've run out of buses anyway. So what we'll do is our new bus lines down here, but we've got our intercity buses, which I've just left the default colour for some reason, and then we've got Eastgate Park, which are the green ones, and then we've got the Harbour Wharf one, which is white, and then we've got the Express one that goes to Harbour Wharf, the 301, which is black, and then we've got the Industrial Estate ones that go via the Eastgate Park, which is this for some reason, are yellow. We've got Eastgate Harbour, which is this one into this section over here, is blue. And then we've got, this will be the 600 into, what's it called? Evergreen End and Hillside Crest. So that is there. The 600 into Evergreen End and Hillside Crest, and that can be purple. I should probably figure which way around that's going, anti-clockwise, so CCW, and then that one's the 601. Can't type. CW. And then we'll make this one purple, but slightly different shade. Now this has got 10 buses on it, so we're going to reduce that down to 7 for the minute. We'll make it free like we do all our buses, in order to encourage people onto them. Put that down to the minimum. Now, 2 large bus tunnels. Buses are 2-digit numbered. One for one of them 1X, the other 2X. 2 secondary twin lines each originate from a small station of 1B. 2A to 2B on the other. 101, 102, 103. Yeah, I'm glad we have the same kind of idea. It's not just me that's giving the buses kind of realistic bus names. What's happened here? Somebody had a car crash and burnt down. Somebody's house is on fire. Right, so we are struggling for buses. Let us click on our little thingy bobber, yep. So we're going to have to add some more in here, which we've just been anarchying into this area. How many is that now? 75. Gave us the extra 10, didn't it? It might be a case of we can steal some extra buses off of these bits. Because this one was at 52 and we reduced it from 15 to 10. Some of these aren't really needing. I'm not sure we can actually reduce them anymore though, without sticking the model. But we'll see how much people like using this new purple bus route. Obviously these train lines aren't really used. But that was one other thing I was thinking, is I need to put in a stop along here really. So what I will do is we will turn that into a proper local road with a pavement. BL1 red, BL2, BL yellow. That sounds sensible. Apologies, person whose office that is, but we are attempting to give you a bus service with a wiggly wobbly road. And just going to convert that to be the same thing, like that, but then we upgrade that bit like that. And this is all so I can put a bus stop on this road. And we will... what's the button? I always forget where things are. Come into there, come into there. One city had 40 bus lanes and they're all different colours. That's impressive. But was it confusing there in terms of colours? I'm just going to move these bus stops to the ends of their little pull-ins that they've created. If we do end up with multiple buses, then I can pad up. You can get confused. Well done. Oh, and since I'm playing my first proper game since release, pretty early when you're doing first city with vanilla with no mods. That's brave. Miss Road Anarchy from Cities 1. Yeah, I don't have that many mods, but I have got some of the cool quality of life mods like Anarchy, like Move It, like this little bar at the top. Just to make it feel a bit easier. This is a very long bus pull-in. Don't think I need to move the other one. There's another one here, so obviously this is at the wrong end. Pop them to the opposite ends of the thingy bobs. A little bit of fine tuning, wibbly wobbly road. It's completely the wrong end. Put it there so it's not right next to the junction. Couldn't play the game without mods, me neither. It's the issue. We've been playing Cities 1 on a Sunday with crowd control on, but the biggest thing I was missing is just a bit of anarchy occasionally, and it kind of like doesn't. There's a lot of things missing from the base game of Cities 1. So I'm just like, every junction's horrible. Never played CS1. I played it on my Switch which was obviously the massively cut down version, which was an experience, but it did make me want to get Cities 2, so I got very hyped for Cities 2. And then we started playing Cities 1 again with absolutely no mods or anything, just on PC, just so we could play with crowd control and people could blow my city up with stuff. That probably needs to be asymmetric. And it's an ironic name it is. I'm just surprised at how many times you get issues where you're just trying to build a bridge across a river or something. Just like completely vanilla. Trying to build a road across a bridge. A road across a bridge? Bridge across a river, across some water. And the game's just like, no, there's water there. And you're going, yeah, there's water, but you should just be able to let me do it. You shouldn't have to use terrain tools in order to just build a bridge. Very silly. Where was it up to? I did that bit. Very silly. That's done. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Most people say once they started playing CS2, they stopped playing CS1. Yeah. Nightmares about curve too steep. Yeah. Anarchy tells the game, for you, I'm doing what I want. Yeah, exactly. Taking a while to get a gradient just right. Yep. Sometimes you don't want to do realism, sometimes you just want to be able to build a proper, and it's like these little bridges that I have over here, this little tiny thing, where this, I'd never be able to build this bridge so short, just vanilla. It would want me to build it really high, and that's just stupid. And I think the other example is like this bridge over here for the boats. Like the game wants me to build it stupidly high up. How high up do I have to go before the game does it? Like, the game wants me to go all the way up here. Then even then it won't work because of the columns. Stupid. Stupid. Anarchy is rebel mode. Yep, we love it. Move this one to about there. It's not too close to the junction. I am sad for people who don't play with mods, because it's just such frustrating. You've got your own personal bus not directly at your house. Outside your house. Let's move that for them so it's not directly outside. Not that I've been worrying about anybody else, but it is. It's the one must-have mod, is Anarchy. It was the first one I installed, along with the mod that puts these little numbers at the bottom. The little trend numbers, so you don't actually have to hover. Quite why they didn't do that after lunch, I don't know. They took it away. But yeah, so that is that sorted. Little bus routes. So we can keep an eye on these buses to see how many people start going on them. You can do so much more with mods than you can without. Exactly. This is why mods are great. So the boring job now I've got is just going through here and connecting up these paths into something sensible. And connecting them to the little roads and whatever's. Give people the little walky bits to turn what is a hack, where we couldn't just have zoning set to a certain size. Turn it into a little plus of having paths going through. Connectivity. Oops, slope too steep. No, don't give me nightmares. Oh, it is a boring job. It's not prime viewing content. Exactly. Turn this annoyance where we've had to put these paths in order to control the zoning into a happy little accident of walkability. And if I could put parks on them, I would, but I can't. Oops, no too steep again. What will happen if I put this one in? Nothing. Ooh. I was convinced it was going to break it. Connect that up to that one so they have a little bit of walkability there. Yeah, I want an actual proper working mod that lets you turn zoning on and off on the roads, but also lets you decide how deep you want it to be. And I could just upgrade all of these roads to have 2 deep zoning. And I wouldn't have to do this. I could do it nicer later. But there we go. Because that's controlling zoning is in the default CS1 when you've been playing. I don't understand why it's not default in Cities 2. Bet they just couldn't figure out how to get it to work or something. Oh. And then we're all rushing to put the game live. Everyone to be able to place parks and paths? Yes. I don't understand why you can't, other than the fact that they need park grounds people to go and look at them occasionally. Doesn't seem like doesn't seem like important enough. My monitor's just gone to sleep for a second, thank you. There's a really excellent game somewhere in the future for Cities 2. Which obviously I love it, and I'm playing it, and I play it all the time. But somewhere in the future there's going to be like, it's going to be amazing. And then they're going to say, nope, Cities 3. We go, no, don't pull Cities 3. We learnt our lesson last time. Maybe a new game wasn't the best thing. Oh, look at all this connectivity. Walkability. And not at all a hacky hack fix. Exactly. I think it's just because it's missing a bunch of stuff like bicycles and a bunch of other stuff, like being able to put parks, build custom proper parks and stuff, and all the other exciting things like controlling the industry properly and whatnot. It's very much starting from the start again with absolutely nothing, which is just crazy. I would have hoped that the base game would have had a lot more in it to begin with. Did I not do this? More distinct zoning options, definitely. But being able to tax people specifically on all the different things rather than just some arbitrary education level or whatever. You can't even remember what it is in this game. Yeah, it is the education level. Just like that, just seems like they just chose it for the sake of it. They did. I think they did rush it. I think Paradox came along and said, you know what, you need to get this out. And they went, well, it's not finished. And Colossal Order just went, oh no. You tax my people hard? Not really. I think that's fairly average. I'm not nice, but they're happy, they're not upset. We've got a city to build. They get free buses. That's what their tax is going towards. This is a socialist dream, this city. You have to pay your taxes, but you get the benefits like free buses. Where are we up to? We've got that little bit to do, and then all this bit. Tax your dirty industry. Yeah, I've never really got into it going. I should probably do that and get the nice clean industries into the city and stuff. I think they get my game gives up before that point. It's a bit random. Give him a little turn around. Could we put a nice little path up the hill here? Stick to 10% and reduce it when the city is pretty, yeah. I just need to make sure I have enough money so I can keep building on stream. Because nobody wants me sitting here just going, oh no, got no money, have to sit and wait. Which is very much what the beginning of the Cities 2 game is. The residential taxes are progressive from 5 to 10%. See, you're doing really clever stuff. Taxes 5 to 7, industrial 5 to 11. Office flat 6. So you're doing some very, very clever stuff. I had a friend who said he was 600k and his taxes were at 1%. And he was still making 7 million or 7. Can't even read, making numbers up now. 40 million a month. That is impressive. I certainly won't be able to get to 600k. Maybe one day. Maybe if I can afford to buy another computer with a better CPU. Or they massively optimize the game. See, easy mode is back. It is. I've not played easy mode yet because I don't really need it, but it's back. I don't think this city was easy mode. No, I don't think so. I did think I did consider it potentially. Just because it makes, again, it makes it a bit easier for stream, but tax income sits at 1.48 million a month. That is impressive. Don't connect to the highway, please. It's very messy, but started one city on easy mode, but there's no challenge, but it's great for new players. Exactly. It's exactly what it says, isn't it? It's just easier. And I think when you do start a new city in Cities 2, it is kind of tricky, a bit demoralising, especially if you're playing it for the first time, when you've just got to try and balance all the finances and stuff. Get those first few service buildings in, but not eating all your money and stuff, fiddling with the productions, whatever they're called, service prices. Playing River Delta, how's that going then? I know you, obviously I know all about your city, but how are you finding the map? Has it been fiddly to play on the map? Or have you just been flattening it all, or what kind of typographic player are you? Topographic. When the game first came out, we all played in easy mode. Exactly. The game was easy, and then they just made it correct. Just normal balancing issues anyway, isn't it, really? Don't want you to connect to that. I want you to get around here. No major flattening, just odd little flat bits. I like to respect the terrain. I've just cut off your driveway, have I? You're just upset with me. Let's go into there instead. That. Got a little bit here. I think this is possibly the last little bit. I'd love to be able to just go boop, stick a thingy bobby in there. Or tunnel, but that's not necessarily the easiest. Some levelling when the road comes, the short retaining wall to one side so you can't build there, yeah. Need to do some sculpting without Anarchy. Kind of a pointless little path, but let's go with it. Got an extra little thingy bob there. I'm tempted to put a little pedestrian bridge over there. Which I think I will do. I might go up into there and do one in a minute perhaps. Again, for the sake of walkability. Scoot up to about 6 or 7.5. It's going to come down into here. So we will come about like that. And then we will turn all of our snappings on. Keeping an eye on a little number. Minus 4.1 sounds good. Apparently it's now an invalid shape. There we go. And then we will connect into this. So let's turn the snappings off a sec. Or not. Do it this way around then, shall we, game? 14%, that's kind of steep, but we can live with that. Because the reason I'm putting these paths in is because we have highways here. So we just need to make sure that people can get across. This looks like it would be a good place to go across. Seven and a half. We're gonna come to here. Like that. And then we're gonna come out of here. And are we gonna be able to actually get a thing in without it looking crazy? Where is the slope? I can't see it. That's very steep. I might have to do a swirly one. Mysterious moment when you cannot place a small roundabout because it messes up with something that's out the road, but read one was okay, yeah. Or the game, you've anarchied something in somewhere and then the game goes, no, you used anarchy on the other side of the map, now you can't do something over here. do... Have I got to 10? That was not what I wanted to do. I've just been busy pressing up and down too many times. Don't actually want you to connect to that, thank you. Let's do that, shall we? Because that's plus 1.1 plus 0.5. That'll do. And then we are gonna I don't want you to connect to that, please. Ugh. I'm going to do this rubbish for a minute and then we'll move it and fix it with move it because it's going to try and connect to all the bits we don't want it to. No. We will get this done in a way that we are happy with. There we go. Obviously that is the most perfect bridge in the world. Is it that simple? So I think we will do the similar thing on this side instead of this. Let's try and get rid of anarchy and try and do this without it for a second. Let's come to about there. That's plus thingy bobber. Again, this is just going to be ugly for a second. We will then sort it, or at least attempt to. Move it is kind of crazy sometimes though. We got an extra little node in here. And redo that. Hopefully we could just go from here. No. Yes, we don't have a crazy extra little node now. What's that? extra little node. I think I'm actually helping now. I think I'm just making it worse. I just wanted to move it that way. Oh, it's a feature. That's what they say, isn't it? I should have stopped fiddling with this, but I'm still doing it. That is impressive. I'm going to put that there, please. Which I'm aware is very silly. And I really obviously shouldn't have done it. It's a bit janky, but we will just put some trees on it and no one will ever notice. First things first, we remember to not have anarchy on when we're doing this. And we'll put these at those different heights. And we are gonna pop some trees along here. Is our first step. You're very sweet, alien zombie. You're very nice to me. Now we sneak some trees in there. We can. Turn snappings off. You're very forgiving of my janky building sometimes. Yeah, this path is probably too close to there. Yeah, I wish I could just do that without it saying, oh no, you can't build that because of that one tree. Just don't build that one tree then. Obviously that's not a bug, it's just an annoyance. So that's that bit. I think I've got another this side over here to do. There we go. Perhaps putting a little bit of treeage on there. Yup. So that's just to get the basic separation from the highway, and then we will grab our brush. I'm going to turn the size down a little bit, just while we come in here and put some of these, what they call them, spruce trees, in here. Just to blend those edges a little bit. Don't really want the ones in the middle of the road, but we will go with it. Putting these in so it doesn't look too much like we've just put a line, a row of trees on the edge, even though we have. A little splattering on there, and then we will come back with these alders and try and squeeze a few in. Into the gaps, but then kind of do that on the opposite side of the road, so where they've got more. Gonna turn up the strength actually, just so it kind of forces them into the gaps. And now I just need to do some up here, thinking about it quickly, just kind of enhance the trees we already have at the top. Not too much, just enough. Make these nice places to live. Cover up some of these crazy paths we put in. I put in. But then I want to get these pine trees come in that are obviously coastal type trees. I'm just gonna put some more of these in. again, blend them in a little bit. But then these pine trees are just coming in closer to the water. Oh, bunches of trees in little areas. Just densify that little bit of woodland on the top. Sweep through. Just make a few little pockets where it's more dense. This is kind of like working backwards in my head, where you would imagine that they've built these houses next to these little woody bits because it's all private and shaded and whatever. Oh, squish. Not too many in front of these though, just so that they still got a view. Just a little swoof. But yeah, I think that's possibly looking as good as I'd like it to. What time are we on? Ooh, kind of doing well. And let's just have a little shufty around the city and go, what's happening here, folks? Crashed off the road. How is our bus line doing? 53% full with 6 buses, 7 buses each. Where are we with our transport now? 33,000. It's not really gone up. I don't think we've necessarily changed it. Time flies when playing this game. Yep, it does. Just a cute, almost 3 hours. Let's have a little look at the production. Oop, we are probably cut away too much of this wood with all this. Like that, I wondered if we could sneak a little wood industry up here or something. Obviously we've got all this bit over here that we could just drop a quick wood industry in without causing too much headache. What am I doing? Gravel road. It's really high. Hello, fellow subject. Hi, Elvire. Why do you mean subject? Why are we subjects? But hello? I'm well, thank you, my dear. Subject of the crown. Why? Is that what we're just going with, is it? We're just we are citizens, we are peasants. Bit of crazy terrain. Loyal subs. I'm well, thank you, Alpha. I hope you're also well. Hope your week has been good. If you don't work this weekend, or not working at the weekend, I hope you're having a lovely pre-weekend. Where's the circle for this? You're just flashing up occasionally. Okay, right when I do that. Okay. I don't know if you work on the weekends, but I sometimes say it and people go, "No, I'm working this weekend." But I'm glad you're going to have a lovely week. Glad we get to have a lovely weekend. Let's just make this as big as possible, shall we? Did go to London for work this week. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Did you go and pay homage to your king? King Charles, your best bud. The English king. Nah, not my king. I'm only kidding. We should probably put this about here. Kiss the ring and ask for more bounty for your homeland. Yeah. My week has been good. I'm glad it's over. Work has been annoying but acceptable. But I'm very glad it's the weekend. Possibly going to go to the cinema tomorrow. To see the Thunderbolts, I think. We're going for a hike tomorrow. Have you still got Doggo? Oh, his Bert abandoned you. Oh, that's a shame. With his little forever family though. Labo did try Stabbo before he went. What's Stabbo other than stab? Knife off the counter. No. No, Bert. Not that. We don't stab. Did I leave space for a library? Not quite. I was going to put a library in here, and I kind of forgot. I was going to die death by by a dog. The old Labo Stabbo. That's quite funny. Obviously not you being stabbed. Where have these reflections come from? I'm not entirely sure these reflections were here before. It looks very pretty, but I'm not entirely sure where these have come from. So we get down and look at from one of these houses up here. See what their view is. What a lovely view they've got. Just admire the city. I do feel like we should probably put a bridge across here, but we got that in the last update. That'd be what it is then. I'm always playing the game like this anyway, and I never really see it, and then you go, ooh look, reflections. Papa Roach, that's a mood. Right, I think we can safely say that our little poo pipes, the number 2s, are working. Our sewage treatment has been absolutely fine. So we can demolish these, which we've had turned off since the beginning of stream. Where's the other one? I think I deleted those ones, didn't I? Sure, reflections should have been there from the base game. I don't know. They should have been there, obviously, but you're not a number 2 pipe. Poo Pipes has a name. I don't know what your name is though, Hellfire. And I don't want you to dox yourself, so I'll just keep calling you Poo Pipes. Let's have a quick look up there. How are we doing for taxis anyway? How's our taxi usage going? 967, that's fine. But at least they're all coming from my own taxi rank. Eternal secret, it's Poo Pipes the 4th to my mates. So Poo Pipes the 4th, how do you do? My name is Lady Kathleen the Shy Girl. Hope you are well, my lord. What am I even saying?
A rapturous riot of flavour, succulent filling, creamy sauce. All wrapped up in the flakiest of flaky pastries in one or both hands.
It says 87 and 75. So I presume we're not salting fast enough, or are we salting fast enough?
A rapturous riot of flavour, succulent filling, creamy sauce. All wrapped up in the flakiest of flaky pastries in one or both hands.
Curry and cheesy chips, but you know the dupe. Thank you for claiming your daily sausage rolls, Hellfire and Alien Zombie. I hope you enjoy them with one or both hands with some creamy sauce. Curry and cheesy chips. No, I'll just have gravy, please. But I'll have the cheesy chips. Cheesy chips. Wonder if I should have cheesy chips for tea. Should I have cheesy chips for tea? Should probably have cheesy chips for tea now. Sapphires mention them. Do it. Keep forgetting daily sausage roll. You've got to have your daily sausage roll. Alien zombie. You've got to have your daily sausage roll. Daily sausage roll keeps the doctor away, as they don't say. That's a sin against Greg's. Yeah, we don't have Greg's. Well, I don't have Greg's. We have greenhouses. Can't eat a Greg's up north. Not that I'm actually up north, but I'm just kind of bumbling around now because it's almost my end of my stream time, and I'm not entirely sure what else we could build. At the minute, I should probably fix this person's drive before they just keep moaning forever. End of stream? No, I know, Hellfire. I'm sorry. But I've got to get some tea at some point. And my little kitty's downstairs will be going, Mama, it's tea times. We gotta have food, Mama. And then they'll want second tea, and then they'll want supper. Yeah. Notification, my phone started doing that as well. Well, not as well, but I started doing that by not notifying me that people are live until like 2 hours that they're in. 8 PM, yeah. Where has the day gone? Cod and chips earlier. Cod and chips. I had cod and chips 3 days ago, start of the week. Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm just bumbling around now, not knowing what I'm doing. But we have built Hillside Crest, which has got this many people in it now. They've got that lovely view, which we're going to go back to. Scoot back to this lovely view that they've got over the city. There we go, that tree's disappeared. We've got that lovely view of the city to look at. Thank you, my lovelies. We will be back on Sunday with any luck. Hopefully I won't get all anxious like I did last week. And we'll be back on Sunday, probably be playing Cities 1, perhaps. Or we might just continue doing this city. Who jolly well knows. Shall we go somewhere? Oh, it would be really crazy to go over city and see City Planner, because that's a really scary prospect. But they are playing cities. But he's done a bunk. Go for it. We're all feeling brave. He's messing with his computer. He's messing with his computer. Shall we just do it? Shall we be brave? And we'll go see somebody who's got 30,000 followers. I have watched Andor this week. I thought it was very good. Where is he? Yeah. So right. So we're gonna go raid City Planner Plays, which is a scary prospect. because they have 30,000 followers. But well, here is my raid message, which sounds very silly. But we're going to go raid City Planner. But thank you everybody for being here. Hellfire, Alien Zombie. I'm sorry I forget your name now. My other friend, where are you? My name is Ruin. Obviously that's your name. I love you. Thank you all for being here. I will be back on Sunday. And we'll probably be playing City Skylines of some kind. But thank you very much, guys. I love you all. Thank you for claiming your daily sausage rolls. I love you. Bye-bye. Have a lovely weekend.